Bro said, fuck sneak dissing. First person shooter, they better come with 3 switches. And then he dropped a song with 3 beat switches. Pay attention. I, for one, am really excited about the fact that the 2 biggest rappers in hip-hop right now don't like each other. And I'm not gonna lie, online internet hip-hop discourse has never felt so back. Kendrick, of course, a very conceptual, thoughtful lyricist who does put little nuggets and clues and Easter eggs, if you will, in a lot of his verses. But sometimes we take that shit too far. And a lot of us on the internet just do not know what the fuck we're talking about. So we're going to do a little bit of Mythbusters here today. We're going to be breaking down some of the worst takes, some of the biggest reaches, and some of the most unfounded wisdom out there online in the wake of Kendrick's 2 new diss tracks aimed at Drake. What's up, y'all? Devon here again for Obligatory. We do this weekly music news segment on our channel every Friday. Today is May 3rd, 2024. We got a whole bunch of stuff to get to, but of course, talking about some of the biggest reaches online we've seen and people discussing and debating the merit of these diss tracks and what all is exactly being said. Because it really is a lot. It's like when I go on Genius and I see this type of shit, I just know people are doing too much. So let's start with a really simple one here. Did Kendrick drop Euphoria at 8:24 a.m. as an homage to Kobe Bryant? This is one of those ones that I thought at first, hell nah, no. But then he dropped 6:16 in LA at basically 6:16 in the morning. And all of a sudden, I feel like I can't put it past him. Now, this whole idea that Kendrick stowed away a clue in the cover art of Euphoria that he was going to drop another response in a week seems very unfounded and not real. But he did drop another response all of a sudden. It didn't happen a week later. It happened 3 days later. Is enough for me to just say, you know what, fuck it. I'll give you that one as a freebie. Now, this one is really one of my favorite ones here. Did Kendrick spell Millie Bobby Brown's name in a verse? And the answer to that is technically yes. He did do that. If you see right here, he did it. He did do it. But this is exactly what I'm talking about. When Kendrick drops something, there are people doing this. There are people looking at every letter of what he says to try and find some meaning in that. Is Kendrick Lamar stealing bars from battle rappers? So this is a tweet that I have seen that cuts up a different couple clips of battle rappers and things that they have said that are very close to lines in this song, things like the Interscope bar or the Park His Son bar. I think it's pretty clear that Kendrick is pulling some inspiration from battle rap culture. I wanted to show a clip from Eric the Young God. It's somebody I mention on this channel pretty frequently, actually, but I think he has a good explanation of sort of where Kendrick's influence comes from in this.
It sounded like he been watching battle rap, you feel me? Because in battle rap, niggas say, let's play the game of Swear to God. Swear to God, you ain't especially your homeboy. Swear to God, you ain't something nigga meet to get battle, like, they do that type of stuff. And one of my favorite clips of battle rap history is Geechee Gotti versus DNA. And it's basically the nigga Geechee Gotti, also from Compton, rapping about, like, just everything he hates about DNA.
Next up is Kendrick calling Drake Crody as a reference to Drake's cat. So there is this video.
Yeah, that's my cat right there.
Maybe for all the karate?
Crody.
And so for a section of the song where he's calling him Crody, is he also calling Drake a pussy? I think this one is probably a reach. I think the only thing that gives me like a shred of doubt to that is in this clip, the way that Drake is calling to his cat, Crody.
You gotta say it like that though, Crody.
But I think he's just mostly just making fun of the accent. Now, the thing that does seem like less of a reach is this idea that the new Ho King part of that bar is what is really another jab. Drake, a long time ago, was allegedly robbed outside of this restaurant by another, now deceased, rapper from Toronto named Sizzlack. If that is true, this is a really nice, understated jab at Drake. Not every fan is going to notice right off the rip, but when Drake hears the words new Ho King, he knows exactly what he's talking about. And that's the greatest thing about this track, is in a lot of ways, he is talking very directly to Drake. Then we got the 3 goats line where Kendrick is saying, I see 3 goats left and 2 of them are hugging and kissing on stage. Some people are trying to push that is Jay-Z and Beyonce and not Drake and J. Cole, which would have to mean, in my mind, that Kendrick thinks that in either all of music or all of black music, that there are just 3 goats left, either of which are remotely true. So I think he's just simply talking about Drake and J. Cole going on tour together, sharing the stage together, hugging, kikiing, acting like besties all of a sudden, while Kendrick is someone who likes to be more, on his own. And then finally, to wrap this thing up, we got the line about everybody want to be a demon till they get chipped by a throwaway. This is kind of a case of a nice double entendre that can turn into a triple. Even if Kendrick was not thinking about Future in the slightest. Obviously, he's also talking about a throwaway verse or a throwaway line or track, pick your poison. And yes, I do think even if it's unlikely that he specifically meant this, Future's middle name is Demon. And he does play a role in this whole situation. And so far, we kind of understand the reasons why Kendrick or Rick Ross might have something to say about Drake right now. But I think Future's involvement in the whole situation is pretty interesting and understated as well. So maybe there's more to that. Maybe he really did mean to mention Future in that way. I really didn't think it was going to get here to where things are. And all of a sudden, like, we are in the throes of something very big and very historical. And it seems like there's more coming relatively soon. But there was a lot that happened this week, a lot of stuff I want to get to, and I will do so in more of a rapid fire fashion. And I want to start off talking about something, a little bit cooler, maybe just more meaningful to the grand scope of things going on in the world around us. Shout out to The Weeknd, who recently this week it was announced he donated about $2 million to the United Nations World Food Program as aid to Palestinian citizens in the Gaza Strip. As many of you already know, some of the worst war crimes imaginable are happening there currently, and this violence has been directly sanctioned and subsidized by the United States and many of its stakeholders, which is why you are seeing throughout the country protests and occupations of college campuses and other publicly funded institutions. And I just want to shout out the artists and prominent figures that have actually taken steps to do something or anything of substance in regards to this matter, because a lot of it just goes unreported and kind of unbeknownst to the greater American public. Kenny Beats is saying farewell to The Cave, his YouTube series that ran for about 5 years, where he would bring in friends and collaborators and popular rappers into a studio, make an impromptu beat, then the rapper would write an impromptu verse and record it. And it was a really cool series that had some really memorable moments. It looks like Kenny Beats wants to move on to more specifically just working on music again and kind of just getting away from the camera. Madlib is currently embroiled in a legal dispute over the right to use his Lord Quas cartoon character alter ego on his albums and in promotion of his music. So currently, Madlib does have a copyright on the Lord Quas character, the Quasimodo cartoon that you see on his album covers. The original artist, though, is aiming to have that copyright revoked and to be compensated in some fashion. Now, his reasoning for this is that the character was drawn as part of the cover art for Madlib's 1999 single Microphone Mathematics, and since then, Madlib has obviously been using the character as an alter ego and a symbol of his music ever since. If he is indeed entitled to compensation or rights over the copyright or anything like that, then I want to see this artist get what they are owed and what they earn. But I don't know if this would mean, he's going to be blocked from using that cartoon, or if he's just simply going to have to share in the revenue that comes from that cartoon. And how do they specifically quantify that is important as well. Next up, Record Store Day 2024 saw its highest weekly vinyl sales in almost 30 years. Vinyl sales were at a historical high this April, with Taylor Swift's new album and Record Store Day happening on back-to-back days. Taylor alone sold over 80,000 vinyl copies of this album in its first week, accounting for nearly a quarter of all record sales for the week. Then we got the Record Store Day exclusives that accounted for another 30% of vinyl sales, and it was just an absolute smash for record stores pretty much all over the country. A lot of these sales did come from your local, maybe even your mom and pop shop in different cities around the country. Then, from our real underground rap fans out there, a new Virginia-based supergroup is forming with Fly Anakin, ohbliv, and numerous other rappers and producers from the area, named Mutant Academy. Honestly, on some X-Men School for the Gifted Youngsters type shit. They dropped a single titled Soda today, and they are planning to release an EP soon, so be on the lookout for that. I also wanted to mention last week, Open Mike Eagle's new group, Previous Industries, with Still Rift and Video Dave, announced that their debut album is coming in late June. They formed in early January, but now we have an upcoming album date for them as well. You got that new Conway the Machine album coming, and this week he released the list of producers and rappers featured on the album. There's a lot of names here, a lot of really cool names. Method Man, Jay Worthy, Larry June, Glock, Absol, Raekwon and Joey Badass on the raps, and then we got production from Swiss Beats, Cool and Dre, Cardo, Don Cannon, Camouflage Monk, Conductor Williams, The Alchemist. So some of the usual suspects and some unforeseen. Definitely hoping that's a really solid album. Next week we will find out. Cash Money Millionaires are set to reunite at Essence Fest this year, in New Orleans on the 4th of July. So Cash Money Millionaires is a supergroup, of course, formed from other supergroups. We got the Hot Boys, Lil Wayne, BG, Turk, Juvenile. And then we got Big Timers, which is Birdman and Manny Fresh. It's not been confirmed that all 6 members here are going to be there, but this would be the first opportunity in a long time that this would even be able to happen, right? BG just served a sentence in prison from 2012 to 2023. So if they were able to get all the members together, then that would, of course, be really significant. I mean, the fact that this is even happening is super cool in the first place. Hopefully, it's everybody, but we will see here soon. Then there are still rumors out there about a new Lupe Fiasco album titled Samurai coming in June. Now, this is a bit of an older rumor that's been floating out there that has been revamped by somebody on Twitter, just kind of posting the same details that have been out there for a bit. It does seem like this is just information that's being relayed from this page that's been up for a little while. Rough Trade's European website has had a pre-order up for a Lupe Fiasco vinyl with the same name and date. I mean, that's definitely interesting, but again, we haven't heard anything directly from Lupe, and till then, we kind of can't say for sure that this is coming out. And those are the stories for the week. It was a whole lot, but now we got notable new releases and editors' picks from this week of new releases, and it was a lot of music this week as well. I got a lot of music to get to, from the new Kamasi Washington album to a new Willow Smith album, Dua Lipa, Mdou Mokhtar, and so much more. Plenty of interesting singles that came out. Kendrick Lamar, of course, Madlib, Black Thought, and Yorl Droog doing a track together. New Ghostface and Nas, new Hiatus Coyote, new Caroline Polachek, Kevin Abstract, and Lil Nas X. By the way, this isn't the full slate of new releases. Definitely check out our Instagram page for that. Albums announced this week. Another pretty good one. Most prominently, I would say, is Gunna's new album, One of One, is officially coming next week. Albums releasing next week, albums releasing the rest of May, and albums releasing the rest of the year. I'm going to be showing those all on screen for you right now. There's a lot to get to, but really, there's so much this week. It's really one of the high points of the year. That's all we have for news stories, new releases, and I just want to thank you for watching to the end of these videos. I want to thank you for watching these videos every week if you have been. And just think, the opportunity is still there for you to be one of the first 500 subscribers to this YouTube channel that is clearly going places and going to do big things. You could be one of the absolute OGs here if you really like what we do. You like talking about music. We do it on a weekly basis. So appreciate you for watching. Peace out. Catch you next time.